He's known as the contrarian dude on YouTube.
The SEC approved a number of crypto and Bitcoin futures, and it's through that mechanism that they wish to control the price of Bitcoin and manipulate it.
Max Wright was among the world's first Bitcoin millionaires after scooping up the asset in 2012 when it was just $10 per coin.
You're predicting a little bit of a rally, a significant crash, and a Fed pivot, all in the remaining months of this year.
I think the worst is behind in crypto. In terms of the sell-off, in terms of the liquidations.
He's now part of the Weiss crypto team, moderating lively discussions about growing trends.
What is the promise of NFT at a very high level? And then where we are right now with the market.
NFTs are all about the registration of unique digital assets.
Max has been a strong believer in one particular crypto for years. How did you know back then that this digital asset called Bitcoin was something to be hopeful about? What appealed to you?
This is the solution to the world's biggest problem. And the world's biggest problem is the corruption of money. Unless the money is fixed, and then everything else will be corrupted downstream of that, because money is at the top of the pyramid. It's through the mechanism of inflation, which is printing money, today called quantitative easing, that is where the corruption comes along.
He says Bitcoin is a major deflationary tool, critical in this macroeconomic environment.
Once you understand that, you get Bitcoin. It's like, okay, we have a very fixed money supply. It's a level playing field. Everybody knows the exact schedule of when Bitcoins will be minted, when they will stop being minted. You add the second component, which is the democratization of it, which means it's easy. Anybody, anywhere in the world has access to this money, and there are no gatekeepers saying, no, you're not allowed to play in this game.
The transparency of the blockchain is crucial.
There's an open ledger that the world can see. I can tell you to the penny and provably how much Bitcoin is on all the exchanges, how much Bitcoin Michael Saylor has, how much Bitcoin this person has. It's all there. Gold and silver, you don't know that.
Max believes Bitcoin adoption will continue to explode.
I think we will probably be at 1 billion users within like 3-4 years. When your money's getting eaten away by inflation, by money printing, you can buy a Bitcoin and your purchasing power will be preserved. That's the store of value. That's very powerful, and the whole world can participate in that. There's another thing, which is the Lightning Network and the payments rail. You go to countries like El Salvador, and a minority of the country is banked because banks charge $15 a month. Poor people just can't afford that. With that, they're locked out of credit cards. They're locked out of merchant accounts. They're locked out of the entire, monetary system and the financial systems that the whole first world uses. For someone who makes an amazing product, but they have no mechanism for being able to receive an online payment, all of a sudden, those guys can sell to the whole world, and they can sell that online. And anyone in the world can pay crypto. They can get paid immediately, and then they can send it out. We see Bitcoin absolutely exploding in Africa, Vietnam, for the payment side.
He sees one facet of the space taking off.
I think that's most interesting is DeFi, decentralized finance. Now it's like borrowing and lending, insurance products on the blockchain in a secure and trustworthy way. I think one of the most interesting things that will come out of the next boom will be cross-chain DEXs. DEXs standing for decentralized exchange. As it stands now, if you want to interact with the Ethereum chain and the Cardano chain, you can do them in isolation. In the Ethereum chain, there's hundreds of projects. You can go from different coins inside of Ethereum. But to go from Ethereum to Cardano, generally the way people will do it is they'll use a centralized exchange. They'll use a Kraken or a Coinbase or a Binance or something like that. The next evolution will be to cut those guys out of the picture. And those guys will become exclusively on-off ramps between fiat and any kind of crypto. And once you're going from crypto to crypto, that's going to happen on cross-chain DEXs. And I think that's going to be one of the most exciting places to take off in the next bull run.
Max says for investors, bearish cycles can be hard, but they are short-lived. Informing the public, he says, is key to crypto's growth.
As a general rule, it's absolutely impossible to have invested in crypto and held for 4 years and lost money. It's almost impossible, I think, to do it in 3 or 2 years.
Once you've been through these cycles, you just learn to hodl. Put your emotions aside.
In many ways, you see holding Bitcoin as risk-free. Tell us about that.
Any investor is somewhat foolish to not have any Bitcoin. It goes up, 100% a year. Like, okay, yes, you can find something that goes up to 300% per year, but with that comes risk. To me, Bitcoin is almost a risk-free investment on the long-term time horizon. It's a glorious, powerful system.
A system he feels will only grow more vital over time. Crypto analyst and Bitcoin aficionado, Max Wright. It was such a pleasure speaking with you today. Thank you so much for making time for me today.
You're welcome. Thanks so much for having me.